podcast. Hello and welcome to Brew Games podcast, episode 3, titled Don't You Wish You Were Here?
That's right. Today I'm going to be reviewing Game Dev Tycoon, and you're going to be talking about your experiences with Deus Ex, Human Revolution.
Yes. The reason why we're doing this podcast is Adam and myself, Joe, we like to drink beer. We like to drink not just beer, but we like to find new beers to try and experiment with. And we also have a very large Steam library individually. So in that Steam library, we have games we've collected over the years through Steam sales, both summer and winter, and random weekend and midweek madness stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of games that we purchased and never played. And so this is allowing us to challenge each other to play those games that we normally would not bother even touching, probably.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty good so far. I've tried a lot of games I don't think I ever would have played otherwise. But,
yeah, me too. So,
all right.
We'll go on to the beers.
All right, I guess I'll go first. The beer I got for you is Iron Maiden's The Trooper. This is created by Bruce Dickinson, the singer of Iron Maiden, the heavy metal band. It's from the UK. It's a golden ale with 3 kinds of hops, Bobek, Goldings, and Cascade, with a hint of lemon. It's got a 77 on Beer Advocate. It's 4.7%, and I got it at Co-op for $4.99. So I'll let you pour that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the brewery.
Sounds good. How fast did you drive here?
I drove slow this time. I shouldn't explode all over.
Okay, good.
The brewery, Robinson's Brewery. It's an old one. They just celebrated their 175th anniversary last year. So they started as an inn in 1838, an inn that made their own beer, and they slowly expanded their operation in the 1860s, and now they're one of the UK's largest family brewers. They have 340 of their own pubs across the UK. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
And the name "The Trooper" is a song by Iron Maiden. It talks about, or the song is about the charge of the Light Brigade, which took place in 1854 during the Crimean War, where a whole 600 British cavalry charged the Russian artillery. But it was quite a poor decision, and they all ended up dying. So,
yeah, I consider that a poor decision.
Is it a poor beer?
I would not say it's a poor beer. It's actually a very good beer. Well worth the price tag for sure.
I thought this would be kind of gimmicky and wouldn't taste very good, but so I'm surprised.
It's something I can see myself drinking semi-often.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's I can taste a little bit of lemon in there that it mentions on the label, and the hops are more of a subtle hops. The Cascade is one I'm very familiar with. One that I prefer. It doesn't have that high note in your mouth where you're like, eh. So it's very nice. Actually, I like it a lot, and it looks great.
It does.
It's a great looking beer.
It's clear, nice
Yeah.
and golden. I don't know about the Cascade hops though. I've tried the Alexander Keith's Cascade hop ale, and I didn't like that at all. No.
Actually, when they came up with that, the first time I heard about it, I was actually at a Buffalo Wild Wings. And I was like, "What's do you have for beer specials?" Because I always try to get like cheap wings and cheap beer, and they're like, "Oh, well, we have this new beer from Alexander Keith's. It's their hop series. It's Cascade." I'm like, I don't know what you're saying to me right now, but I'll give it a try, and actually enjoyed it quite a lot.
Wow.
So
I too had it on a wing night in Edmonton though, and didn't like it at all. I ended up giving half of it away, and I don't give beer away. So.
Well, we do have a second bottle of this, so we'll probably have you try the other bottle.
Sure.
A little bit later.
Sounds good.
The beer I got for you is by a brewery called Hebrew, and this is the Death of a Contract Brewer. It's got a 97 rating on Rate Beer. It's a 70 IBU at 7% alcohol by volume. The description of the beer is a commemorative black IPA to mark the transformation from their years as a contract brewer to their new life at their very own brewery. Contains 7 malts and 7 hops.
Wow.
And I'll list the malts real quick. It's a specialty 2 row Munich, wheat, crystal rye, chocolate, pale chocolate, and kiln coffee, matched up against 7 hops, which are the Cascade, the Citra, the Summit, the Crystal, the Amarillo, the Atinum, I'm hopefully saying that correctly, and the Chinook.
Okay. I don't know what to expect.
So lots of stuff in there. Hopefully it doesn't just taste like mash.
Let's
And
find
actually
out.
has some good flavor. I mean, it has a high rating on Rate Beer, so
Nice.
it should be a good beer.
There's probably a joke in here about Hebrew and brewing. And did he brew it or something? But I'm not smart enough to figure it out. So.
Well, with the brewery, a lot of their beers, they do kind of puns or like pop culture references to different Jewish culture and stuff.
Okay.
So a lot of their names for beers will have whiffs into that kind of culture. The history of the brewery is Hebrew began as a Hanukkah experiment in 1996 when the founder and proprietor Jeremy Cohen and his friends squeezed pomegranates to produce juice for the first Hebrew beer. And early distribution for this beer was done by Cohen himself out of his his grandmother's car in San Francisco Bay Area in 1997.
Nice.
Yeah.
Selling beer out of your car.
Selling beer out of your grandma's car, yeah. Anderson Valley Brewing Company began brewing Hebrew beer, and its distribution expanded to small craft beer wholesalers in California, Chicago, and New York. 2003 marked the year that Schmaltz began packaging their Genesis Ale, their Messiah Bold, in 6 packs, and they moved their production to Mendocino Brewing Company in Saratoga Springs, New York. And then the reason for this beer is that in 2013, they finally got their own brewery. Instead of being on the heels of all these other brewers that had the production facilities to be able to make their beers, they were able to make their own brewery. So everything is theirs. They're not relying on other companies to help them make their beer.
Nice.
So what do you think of it?
It's really good. It's for the first time I actually have a description for one of the beers you got me.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
It's like a mocha beer.
A mocha.
I taste a lot of chocolate and a lot of coffee, and a lot of beer. It's not too hoppy. It's not very hoppy at all, actually. But I quite like it.
So the malts are taking over the hops in this case? Because
Absolutely.
it mentioned that it has the chocolate, pale chocolate, and kiln coffee malts. So those are obviously standing out.
Absolutely. It's very good.
Yeah.
I like chocolate. I like coffee. I like beer. So. How much was it?
These, I think, were around $7 or $8 a bottle.
I'd highly recommend trying. This is probably one of the better ones we've had on the show, to be honest.
Something you'll find yourself drinking quite often?
If I make my way to the Sobeys liquor store, I'd probably pick it up, yeah. It's quite heavy. You're not going to drink 2 or 3 of them, I don't think. I think you'll stop at 1, but...
Yeah, it's a pretty big bottle too, so...
That too.
Yeah, actually, had some troubles finding that particular bottle for our image overlay we have on the video. They're all the little, 330 mils. So I think the one I picked here is just the tap label. So it won't be a bottle that will show for that one, probably.
You could just take a picture of the bottle.
I was thinking about that as well. I might try and set up a little mini studio and take pictures of our bottles instead of relying on the internet.
Nice. That's impressive that you've researched that before even shooting the episode.
Yeah.
You can talk about this, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's the beers, and now we're on to the video games. So my game first. Yep. You challenged me to Deus Ex Human Revolution. And so the first thing I have to note is after the introduction part of the game, when the story starts its 6 months after portion, I had 2 stops in the game, and it was both for pre-order bonuses, which I found kind of weird because I don't recall pre-ordering this game. I'm pretty sure I got it through a Deus Ex compilation sale.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just threw that in with the compilation sale or if I really did pre-order this game and just totally forgot about it. which is a possibility. When this game came out, my life was very busy at that point, so very possible that I might have done that. Prepaid for the game, totally forgot about it, and then you told me about it, and like, oh yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah. With that said, my experience of the game, I quickly discovered the game is not forgiving.
Nope.
Um, when you take damage, you take it hard and you die fast. Um, Now I don't know if that is because you don't really have the upgrades yet on your cybernetic parts. So for me, playing the first 2 3 hours of it, um, very covert espionage style gameplay because you can't go out run and gun. You just can't. If you try and
No.
do it, you'll die right away. Like it's just not forgiving that way. Um, Specifically, the one part was the police station, which you earlier messaged me like, "Do you get very far in the game?" I'm like, "Not really." Stuck at the police station because the game's very dialogue driven as well. So if you screw up in your dialogue conversations with people, it can totally just shut down a path that would allow you to get a quest done.
So now you need to find an alternate way of accomplishing
Yeah,
your goal.
exactly. So what happened is I go to the police station and the reception desk sergeant is an old colleague of mine from when I was working as a SWAT member. And it hints about like what happened back then and like apparently he I don't know if I want to spoil it or not, but he did something that wasn't so favorable by the public's eye. And you have three choices and they end up being either an alpha response, a beta response, or an omega response. And at first I was trying to be kind of beta omega, like trying to be empathetic to him, trying to make him feel a little bit better. But then he started feeding me shit back, and then I just was like, okay, maybe that's what he wants to play. So as soon as I fed him shit back, he just totally shut down, not gonna talk to me anymore. That denied me access into the police station that I needed to get into for my quest, which led me to having to spend a lot of time figuring out how to get into the police station through the back door, side door, whatever. And spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. And the one problem I had was that you get two quests right away. It's like, okay, you have to go to the police station and find this person and identify them. But you also have to go to the like medical clinic
Yep.
for your cybernetic implants. And I ignored that and I went straight to the police station. And then afterwards, having nothing else to do, went to the cybernetic place. And then I realized that's where I should have gone first because the things you get from the cybernetic medical center is going to help you to do what you need to do at the police station, such as getting the upgrade that allows you to find out what kind of personality a person is when you're
Yep.
interacting with them, which I didn't have when I first walked into the police station. So I was just trying to be smart myself, and I totally screwed it up.
Try to do it like LA Noir style.
Yeah, I just tried to figure it out on my own based on the text, and I guess my reading comprehension wasn't up to par, and made the game way more difficult for myself than it should have been. But it's a great game. The graphics actually, I love the graphics. I love the way it looks.
Yep.
Except for one thing.
That's it.
The one thing I don't like is the pre-rendered scenes.
Okay.
So I'm loving the game, and then they have a pre-rendered scene where like a certain set of dialogue will happen, but it's all pre-rendered. It's not using the game engine. They just like brought it into like 3D Studio Max or Maya or something, rented out the scene and voiced over it, and then it goes back into the game where the remainder of that scene plays out in the game engine,
Right.
which I found very strange, especially when you're talking to your boss. Like
Yeah.
half the conversation is in this cinematic, and then the other half is in the game engine. And me personally, I think it looked better in the game engine.
Really.
I thought the visual fidelity of this pre-rendered scenes was not up to par. I found like it was a detraction. It pulled me out of the game. Seeing those scenes, I'm like, okay. I sit through that thing and like it finishes, and I go back and I'm engaged again because that's the world I'm in, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be pulled out and put into this like it felt like a pretend land, like maybe it's a dream sequence or something, but it's not. It's actually what's happening.
Maybe the graphics were better as you were playing because
I think maybe when the game
it's an
first came
older
out,
game now. Yeah.
yeah, like I have a better computer than what would have been out when the game first came out. So it probably did look better when it first came out, those pre-rendered scenes. But today, like if you want to play that game today, I find like you much would rather have everything play out in the game engine, especially when like half of the interaction with the person is pre-rendered and then game engine. It just makes no sense. Like either do the whole scene pre-rendered or just leave it
Yeah.
all game engine. So that was my one gripe with it. Other than that, love the game. As frustrating as it is, I still want to do it. I still want to get past the part. I want to find out how to get further in the game. So yeah, it's a great game. I want to play more of it, and I will play more of it.
You mentioned you like the visuals. I won't spoil anything for you, but at some point you go to a nightclub. I don't think you've gotten there
No,
yet.
I haven't done the nightclub yet.
And that's really where it kind of wows you.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done. The atmosphere and everything was cool. Yeah.
And then your game?
I played Game Dev Tycoon, and so I'm not really a tycoon sim fan so much. I liked Roller Coaster Tycoon, but that's about it. But I gave it a shot, and I had some Simpsons playing in the other monitor while this is going on because it's not terribly fast-paced by any means.
Yeah.
But you start off in a garage trying to make your first video game, trying to make some money. And so rather than starting with the text-based games and working my way up, I tried to go too big too soon. I tried to do like the advanced 2D graphics and have all these features and stuff that you really probably can't do in your first video game. So I ended up having to, or like going in the red, having to take out a loan. Couldn't pay the loan back after a year and ended up going bankrupt in about 30 minutes. So I got frustrated and tried it again right away. And I started slower with the text-based ones, working my way up to the better games. And got lucky with one of my game combinations and made like $5 million still in my garage. So I didn't upgrade my office. I took your advice from last week. Yeah. I stayed in the garage and kept making other games, working my way up. Had another big hit and got up to about 20 million.
Jesus.
I'm like, okay, I could probably afford the 800 grand or something for the next office.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the next office, hire a buddy, train him up, try to copy the games like that as they happen in real life, right? Like Pong and Final Fantasy and Zelda, trying to have like the RPG fantasy combination or like the action adventure combination.
Yeah.
And they all worked really well. So I kept making money. The only one that didn't really work, I tried to make Die Hard, like the was it on the NES? Like top-down one where
I think so, yeah.
Angry Video Game Nerd reviews it.
Yeah,
it's impossible. Yeah, I tried making that, and yeah, it didn't.
So you didn't learn from Angry Video Game Nerd?
No. I didn't try to make E.T. I wasn't that bad. But yeah, I only had one game over the whole course of my my playthrough of this one that actually lost money. All the rest, I eventually made so much money, it takes money to make money. I made so much money that I tried to lose money and still couldn't do it.
Really?
I had like $200 and something million.
Jeez.
Got up to the last office really quickly. Had a bunch of people working for me. Eventually tried making my own console, but I had the cross-platform upgrade. And why would I sell games for just my console when I could sell it across all the platforms and make more money that way?
Yeah.
So no one really bought my console. But had very little market share.
Yeah.
And then I tried making my own MMO, which is a big money sink and requires a lot more forethought. Like you can train your guys eventually to specialize in a certain part of the game, like the audio or the storyline or all that. But that was more effort than I was willing to put in. So I just tossed people on the game randomly. And
so you made EverQuest 2.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But the MMOs have constant expenses you have to cover. So your subscriptions and game fees have to make up for those expenses.
Yeah.
So you do that by continuously releasing expansions. Like wow,
Oh,
pretty
really?
much.
That's crazy. I didn't know they had that kind of level of detail in that game.
Yeah, but I ended up to do the MMO and all, and your own console. You have to have these research labs. Then you have to research it and put a lot of money into it and develop them. And by the time I had all this, I had like about 1 year left in the game. You get a random pop up saying you have 1 year left. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
So what's the cutoff?
42 years or something.
Okay.
You can continue to play, but there's no more like new tech, new consoles or anything.
You just kind of like hit a plateau and that's it.
You can keep making games and keep selling them and see if you go bankrupt, I guess, or try to make it big.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of excited. Well, I guess excited. I had the 200 something million, and I was thinking, wow, I'm doing pretty good at this game. And then realized that anyone can just look up the combinations that work best on the internet and make all the money, and then it's not so.
So there is an actual formula to the game. That kind of sucks.
Well, you find out like through trial and error if you do game reviews, like action and adventure work together, but action RPG.
But then if you keep doing like action and adventure back to back, then it doesn't work as well, right? Yeah. So that was the problem I had with the game, is that I would try and do like a combination I know that works, and then move to another combination I know that works, and then another one. Like at least have a 3-game separation from going back to the other one again.
Yep.
But even doing that, I didn't have as much luck as you did.
Well, you can do sequels, which is different than.
Yeah, even trying to do sequels, like it was. Usually, it would fail for me. Sometimes it'd be okay, or like the third sequel would finally be like the one that was like, the prodigy of the franchise that would like blow up and be popular, and then after that, just
like Half-Life 3.
Confirmed. No.
So when did we record last episode? Friday? Saturday?
It was a Saturday, so yeah, less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we were on a Saturday, and then I remember the audio went up on Sunday, and I think you either played Sunday or Monday, and then you messaged me saying, I think I'm ready to record again already. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I was busy doing probably my game or something else. Probably actually, I think I was doing the video. I think I was doing the actual YouTube video.
Joe does all the work on this, by the way.
Yeah. I just sure, like, you're done already. And he's like, oh, I got like most of the achievements. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. And then I finished doing the video, start uploading the YouTube, and I check your Steam account, and it's just like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, holy, that's insane.
It's all about getting the first game or two, I think.
Yeah.
Because like when you have $20 million and a game costs $100,000 to make, you can make a lot of games, a lot of shit games before.
Yeah, like you getting that huge honeypot at the beginning was a huge benefit.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, this game has pretty much no replayability. Maybe if you're into these types of games, you'll like it more. But I didn't really want to play it again.
Yeah, you said you wanted to see, and you came, you conquered, and you're done.
Yeah. So this was 2 days after recording 2 weeks ago's episode, the last episode.
Yeah.
So I went back to Darksiders and Duke Nukem, and they confirmed. Like I beat Darksiders, and that confirmed my pretty much what I said when I reviewed it, except their puzzles. Like their puzzles don't get more complex. I'll try to say all this quickly because the camera only records for 30 minutes before it shuts off. So. But they have these puzzles that as soon as you see them, you immediately know what to do. It's obvious.
Yeah.
But it just takes 5 or 10 minutes of dragging stuff around or running back and forth to do it, and it takes you out of the game, and you just get bored, I guess.
Feels grindy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Duke Nukem, I've gotten pretty close to the end. Haven't quite beaten it. It gets worse as you go on. I don't know. I have very little interest in going back to it.
That's what I was feeling when I was talking to you about I got like a spiral thing outside, and I was like, after that point, I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah. But I tried to have them both beaten for this episode, but I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I went back to it, really. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have.
Because you have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that you actually went back to those games, and give us a little update on those.
Yeah. So it gives me a slightly unique situation here, where all the games that have been on this show so far,
Yeah.
I've beaten or almost beaten, other than Alan Wake. So I figured I'd say which one is, if they're all similarly priced, which would be the best bang for the buck so far?
Between your games and my games,
Between all the games, yeah.
um, I'd have to say for me it's Deus Ex.
And that's what I was going to say as
Yeah,
well.
like that game, just
That's
the production value in that is just amazing. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about this before, and that's absolutely what I was going to say.
yeah.
Until I challenge you to your game for this week. It's
Okay.
2 weeks.
So what's the new game?
Are we going into that now? Are we?
Oh, are you done with your review?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll start with my challenge to you
Sure.
first. So I'm going to challenge you to Saints Row the Third. Now, this is a game I picked up. I believe I pre-ordered it before it came out. I started jumping onto the hype train before it released, and it totally sucked me in. And as soon as it launched, I was in that game, and I could not get out of the game. For me, I have a history of picking up a lot of games, playing them for a few hours to maybe 8 hours. Well, if the game's 8 hours, I'll finish it. But like a lot of games, like 4 hours into it, get halfway through or so, and then just stop playing.
Yep.
But this game was not that case. This game kept pulling me back in. I like look forward to finishing my workday so that I could just like play for like 6 hour sessions. This
Really?
game, like I just put so much time into this game. And even when I finished the game, and then I think either one or two of the expansion DLCs that gives you extra missions, I actually purchased those and went back in afterwards. Like I just
Wow.
for some reason couldn't get enough of this game. I never played the first or second one, so I had no experience with those. I heard two was really good, other than the PC port was apparently like really garbage, didn't work very well. But I absolutely love this game, so I'd love to see how you feel about this game if you like it as well.
I've heard a lot about it. I see it on Reddit a lot where people love this game,
Yeah.
and they say it's a lot of fun. I haven't played any of them. Well, I might have played 5 minutes of number two, the co-op or multiplayer or
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot about it, and I'm excited to try it.
Yeah. The thing I like about the third is there are some references to number two, but you really don't need to know that. I found with the third, it was very newcomer friendly. So if you didn't know the previous games, it was okay. You could still catch on through the dialogue and everything.
Nice.
So yeah.
Right on.
How about your game? What do you got challenged for me?
My game for you is Batman Arkham Asylum. So I saw Arkham City and Arkham Origins in your list, but no Arkham Asylum. And I can't believe you haven't played it, because it is definitely one of the best games on Steam. It's fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite games ever. And you didn't have Arkham Asylum, so I went out and bought it for you, full price,
Oh really?
and gifted it to you
Oh,
on
thank
Steam.
you. I thought you just had like an extra copy laying
No.
around. Wow. Okay.
That's it goes against why we're doing this, but that's how badly I want you to play this game. It is an awesome game.
Well, that's fair. I mean, considering I had the first two, and I tried to get the first one, but I was waiting for it to be on sale, and for some reason, this game just never goes on sale. Number two, number three, they were on sales. That's why I picked them up. But number one, I just could never catch it on a sale, so I was waiting for that chance, but not on the wait anymore.
Yeah, it's everything about it is great. The voice acting is great. It's got Mark Hamill as the Joker, like he was in Darksiders. He does better in this than he does in Darksiders. The storyline's fantastic. The graphics are great. The cinematography, the gameplay, everything. It's just a fantastic game.
So you probably played it with a keyboard and mouse, right?
I did.
I'm just wondering if would you recommend I try doing it that way first and then trying the controller afterwards, or
It might be better with the controller.
controller? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because I know this was a huge game for the 360
Yep.
when it came out, and I wanted to buy it for the 360 as well. But again, I was waiting for it to go on sale. But all over the internet, my friends were all like, "Oh, this game, this game, this game, this game." Um, I'm not a huge Batman fan. I do like Batman. I mean, Michael Keaton Batman, probably one of my favorites. The first Batman. Um, the new Batmans, obviously, they're very awesome. But
This
for
is
a
like
while there, like Batman was just like, and I know that's because of the director and stuff that got picked up for the series. So
this like redefines Batman. Like
yeah,
I'm not a big comic book guy or anything, but that's the movies are like unrelated. None of it's just. I don't want to say too much without giving it away, but it's a fantastic game. I think the camera just cut off, so it looks like we're out of time.
yeah, it looked like we probably lost about 30 seconds. So that's okay. We'll turn it back on. We'll finish up the episode.
I guess we don't have too much more other than the mailbag, and I guess we have a small announcement.
Yeah. So just jumping back in here. So yeah, as we were saying, both not big comic book fans. Batman series. This is obviously its own kind of iteration, doing its own thing. Critically acclaimed online by friends, by everybody. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to Saints Row because we both chose games that we've heard a lot about but haven't played. So
Yep.
it's good.
And for the next episode, no mailbag, but we do have a lot of people lined up that want to be on the show. We actually have 3 people now.
Nice.
So, as we mentioned in the last episode, we have Tyson that wants to come on. So, the next episode, we'll have part 1 with Tyson.
Where we'll challenge him to a game or a beer in a game.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're both going to choose a beer for him, and then he's going to choose a beer for both of us. So, we're going to keep it the format of 2 beers per episode, as well as the game. So, we're both going to choose a game for Tyson. Tyson going to choose a game for us.
The same game?
He wants to do different games.
Okay.
But we're still going to work those details out. We still have 2 weeks. And we'll figure out what we're going to do there. But I like it to stay with the 2 and 2 format. I don't want to
Sounds good.
try and get too many games because then that's going to lengthen the episodes.
And you only have 30-minute intervals with the camera.
Yeah. And we like to try and keep these around 30 minutes. This one might be a little bit longer just because we're talking about a little bit more because we're picking another person in. But we'll try and keep it around 30 minutes. So keep the 2 beers, the 2 games. So he'll be on part 1, and then there'll be a part 2 as well. That's when he comes back. We'll do another beer that he'll have us try, another beer that will have him try, and then we'll do our reviews on the games that we were challenged to. And at that point, we're going to challenge ourselves to a game.
Right.
Because we're going to do an episode that's just us.
Okay.
And then, not too sure yet what we'll do, if we're going to do just 1 episode of just us and then bring another guest on, or do 2 episodes just us and then bring a guest on. So it'll be maybe 2 as a guest, 2 as us, 2 as a guest.
Sure. Like I said, it depends on how many people want to be on the show.
Yeah. So like I said, there's 3 people total. There's Tyson that wants to be on.
Yep.
There's Daniel that wants to be on, and there's Daryl that wants to be on.
Sweet.
So, and I'm sure as we go on, there'll be more people that want to be on.
I did have a Steam message from Terry who wants to be on, but he's in Edmonton, so that'll be difficult. Maybe we can do something at a LAN or something. But
we could do maybe just a special episode, maybe an in-between episode, possibly. Because we're doing your Halloween that you have coming up in Edmonton in October, right?
That's right.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Make the episode even longer. Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
We got in Edmonton on the weekend of October 17th, 2014. We've got Mega FPS and GarageLAN, 2 of the local LAN groups in Edmonton, getting together to do a big LAN party. Last year we had about 80 people crammed into a... Didn't seem like that many, but it's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was pretty packed.
It's crammed into a hall, and we do have internet, and it's $20 for the weekend, and you come and play games with everyone for the weekend, and it's a good time.
Yep. I mean, can't beat the price.
That's right.
I know when I started first doing LAN parties way back in like 2000, it was like $20 to get in, and part of that money went towards pizza. Of course, that's 14 years ago, so can't include the pizza, but you guys are doing a potluck, right?
That's right. On the Saturday, doing a potluck, and you can. All the info is on Facebook. If you just search up Mega FPS on Facebook, you can find us there. We don't use our website so much anymore.
Yeah. So on the YouTube video, I'll put a little
Cool
overlay
Cool.
and
Thanks.
be able to direct people to the Facebook page, and
You can
I'll
meet
be
us
there.
celebrities there.
Yeah, we'll both be there, and so if you guys want to come out, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
That about does it for this episode.
I think so.
And unfortunately, I drank all my beer.
I've been going slowly on mine. So how about you try? I've got some left in my bottle here.
Sure, let's do that. Let's do a little pour here.
So once again, I'm at Alpha Drake on Twitter.
I'm at Jay Evans on Twitter. If you want to contact us on Twitter through the main account, it's at Brew Games. And if you want to email us, it's brewingames@gmail.com. Our website is www.brewgames.org. And with that, cheers.
Cheers.
Till next time.
Till next time.